Hello everyone. Today I'd like to talk about why we as human beings want our hearts broken. Now this may seem like a strange statement. Why do we want our hearts broken? But in truth, it's basically how we are human. We desire our hearts to be broken because it makes us feel that part of ourselves which is connected to everyone. Our attachment to everyone, our attachment to the circumstances that exist. And to want our hearts broken basically means we want to feel more human. Now, I'm going to go over a few points about why we want our hearts broken in microcosmic perspective and macrocosmic perspective. Now, first, why do we want our hearts broken? I'm going to go ahead and erase some of this so we have room for a few of the points. Alright, now, if we're going to look at just basic human nature, our relationship to other people on a very basic level, we can say that basic level, to have our hearts broken, to be disappointed, that keeps us in a state of solidity in reality. We feel solid in reality. We feel like if things are happening to us, if we're experiencing this in reality, then it basically solidifies us as existing. Now, okay, so we'll put the first one as solidifies. Okay, not the best speller. Solidifies existence. Now, our ego as human beings, it likes to be proven to exist. It likes to allow us as a person to be shown that we feel, we can interact with the world and create effects, that we can be the cause of things. And even if we do wrong, we can feel the outcome of that because we exist. And if we tune ourselves to a lesser degree of ego, we still want to exist. We still want to feel. So if we decide that, our heart is something that we have control of, we have perspective on, and that we can change if we understand our place in reality and humanity, then it is the proper use of the perspective of getting our hearts broken and our ability to feel. If we learn from getting our hearts broken, this can solidify our existence as well, because then these terrible things happen to us. Somebody leaves us for some terrible reason. Somebody in our family betrays us. These things help us to grow as an individual. That's why solidifying existence is the one for basic level. And two, if we behave in a certain way, if we behave as a loving person and we view ourselves as behaving in a loving way, or we view ourselves as improving based on our lessons, then we can slowly understand that our heart really can't be broken in the long term. So, learning, once again, a bad speller, learning it can't be. And the final one for basic level would be if we existed a certain amount of time in a relationship, then, or in a relationship with anybody, not just romantic, but in a relationship with our family members, then we slowly realize that as an emotional being, we have chemical experiences that can push us towards not relying on other people, not relying on our circumstances, and not relying on even the people we're very close to. It can free us from this reliance, but the only healthy way for that to happen is not through bitterness or through rejecting everyone. It's through looking for the right people. So we'll put that as embracing a proper rise. And the proper rise would, of course, be freeing oneself emotionally, and realizing that we are the masters of our own hearts. So what we have here under basic level solidifies existence. Learning it can't be. Our heart can't be. Should have put it instead of if. It can't be. Our hearts can't be broken ultimately. And embracing a proper rise, accepting that we don't need to be relying on other people. We don't need to be relying on circumstances. And that's the basic level side of why we want our hearts to be broken, because it's a process of learning. And it shows that we exist and we're progressing if we use it in the right way, if we use our heart breaking in the right way, no matter if it's a romantic relationship, no matter if it's a family relationship or a friend relationship. If we utilize this system of solidifying existence to build on, learning our heart can't be broken, and embracing a proper rise of accepting the lessons we learn after we realize the heart can't be broken ultimately, then the whole process feels like an evolution instead of an injury, instead of a wound in our being. All right, now I'm going to go to macrocosmic level here. So we'll get rid of the basic level very carefully, because I'm so good at planning this out, not really. And there we go. Plenty of room to write messily. And we want to complete that Y there. There we go. Now, let's go to a macrocosmic level here. Now, number one under macrocosmic might be that consciousness isn't limited to a single person. It isn't limited to even a single decision by a single person. The web of reality has to do with every single being that is conscious, and even animals and plants that are conscious to varying levels, but human beings are conscious in the highest level that we have evidence for on this planet, and evidence for through just basic science. Now, I believe in God, and that doesn't really apply to these levels just yet, but we can basically see that everyone is a part of society, and we all have varying levels of cooperation, of assertion, and existence in society, in a human society, because the world is connected in a way that it never has been before. So, number one is, why do we want our hearts to be broken in such a net of consciousness? It means that the world will react. These reactions may be small, and this is tied into solidification of existence in the basic levels. But the reactions may be small, but we can feel the reactions of our own sadness. And I know this from experiencing depression for a very long time. We can feel the reactions from this world by being sad. It's not always somebody seeing you as being sad, or you telling somebody and then something happens. It's always that how you approach day-to-day, moment-to-moment existence basically expands your ability to feel in regard to whatever suffering you're experiencing. If you're experiencing the suffering of your heart breaking, you don't want it at first. You don't want your heart to be broken, but deep down in your subconscious, that's your conscious, in your subconscious, you see a reaction in other people in society. You see a reaction in your surroundings and in your circumstances. And those reactions are very small, but a lot of the time when your heart is broken, you see them as negative, but they end up being transformative. You might see people approaching you differently and not being quite as nice or being impolite. You might feel like your car's working against you, like it's not doing things you want it to do. You might feel like your insurance system is screwed up because you need certain things that you simply don't have. But all these little cues are based on your perspective towards them, and they're pushing you to become greater than greater than the problems that you're confronting. So, number one would be overcoming the minute. And on a microcosmic level, overcoming minute may seem like a reasonable assertion because it makes sense. Microcosmic is smaller. But overcoming the minute, the universe, the world, humanity, and all the circumstances will work in your favor if you learn how to use these troubles that plague you when you're the most down. If you learn how to use them, if you learn how to evolve, then ultimately you won't just evolve past the little troubles like your car doesn't seem to be responding right or people don't seem to be polite. You learn to build from the lessons that teaches you. And that makes you a more integral part of society. That makes you more effective at being a person who can overcome these problems and be past these problems, in essence. And number two. Now, this one is a spiritual / religious point, and I'm going to say God feels God feels necessary. And an atheist might look at this and be like, what the hell are you talking about? But if you feel like the world is against you, you feel like the rest of man is assaulting you, you feel more in tune with a need for something higher. Whether, I believe that God exists, but even if you don't believe God exists, and God doesn't have to exist for this, you feel like you need to connect to something that's higher, that's above all these problems, above all this heartbreak, above all this pain you're experiencing. And just trying to connect to something above all of this allows you to essentially do it. It allows you to work past petty concerns, and this is a common theme, but it also allows you to see the grander picture of your life. It allows you to see your life as something that is as a piece of the grander whole, but is something that can still contact something that is higher than the everyday goals of everyone else. Sadness can work in your favor in this regard because you feel like that need, and in every need that we have, it eventually feels we are drawn to the fulfillment of it. So we eventually feel that it is fulfilled. And this is a common theme of consciousness even, that a need starts a domino effect into having that need fulfilled if you truly understand and experience the need to the right degree. And that's really the key here. And the third one. Now, why do we want our hearts broken on the third one? And in these first two, overcoming the minute, God feels necessary. We subconsciously know that these points will be solved after our heart is broken. We don't. A heart breaking is not is the opposite of torpor. It's not slothful. When your heart is broken, you are spurred to action, and that's the effectiveness of having your heart broken. You know that subconsciously. You want things to change subconsciously. So in a way, you do want your heart broken, and this is a very human and sentient thing to be a part of. Number three is. Healing is truth. Deep down, we all want to be healed. We all want to have a wound sewn up on an ideological level. That's just the ideological level that I'm talking about here. We all want to be better than we were before. This is the natural, callous prompting that our consciousness has, even on an ideological level, and this is all ideological. Our consciousness wants to be broken down, the heartbreak. So it also wants to be healed, and through that healing, we become stronger, and that's something we know subconsciously. That's something we know in our hearts and our minds, everywhere. So healing is truth. And now, what is truth? And everybody has a different idea of truth. The truth I'm talking about here is the building, the evolution of a person. Now, I said something very similar to this on the basic level, but on the micro level, but on the macrocosmic level, it's more of a thickening that kind of combines with other calluses in other people. Now, this might seem weird, but our natural healing ability, ideologically, consciously, in our consciousness, when other people are healed ideologically, and when they're healed spiritually, when they've worked through these things, our calluses will seem very similar to other people's calluses. We'll meet people and are able to relate to them in ways we couldn't have imagined before because we were healed. So in a way, we want to be broken down. We want our hearts to be broken so we can heal, and then then we have connection to people that can provide additional healing. That is healing and evolution above what we knew before our heart was broken. This is a very strange idea, but this is the macrocosmic view on this point, that healing is truth. Truth can only be reached through a breaking down, and this is why it's so spiritual and macrocosmic, because deep down we want to be broken down so we can be built up higher than we ever would have achieved if our heart wasn't broken. And that's basically all I have to say. We went from basic level to macrocosmic level, but what are your ideas on this? If you have any ideas that I didn't cover here, or maybe you think I'm completely wrong, feel free to comment. If you enjoyed any of this, feel free to like, and subscribers, I'm looking for more subscribers, so feel free to subscribe, and I'd greatly appreciate it. But here we were dealing with why we want our hearts to be broken. And maybe you think this is a ridiculous statement to start off with, but that is your privilege and your right. So share the ideas. Share the ideas with me, and I'd love to hear them. Thank you very much for watching.